What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar here with C-Zar Gets Crypto, coming to you live from a random hotel bathroom. I don't have my normal setup. That's why the format might look a little bit different. I'm on my phone. I don't have my laptop and stuff, so we're going to make do with what we got. Let's hop into the charts. So here we got Ethereum. I remember my last video I made on Ethereum. If we're looking at the daily, I think I made my last video here. I said that we were going to go lower. I was talking about being short. I remember that. I went short last Friday, actually. It was last Friday or last Thursday. It was one of these days. But I went short from about 1333, I think. I was talking about us going lower. I was expecting to get a little bit more profits. I wish I closed on here and had some more gains, but I did close my short for slight gains at about 1320. When I saw this daily close, actually, I closed it before the day closed, but whenever the day was looking like it was going to close and engulf above this, that was enough for me. So I took slight profits, enough to cover the fees. I didn't take a loss, which is great. At least I'm not losing. But I wasn't ready to go long. I did not go long. I, in fact, just kind of did not trade for a couple days. I did go short once I saw this bearish doji candle. I actually went short like right at about 1350. I think I went 1350 was my opening price. And here we are at 1332. I'm pretty confident and comfortable with my short so far. If we do go up higher and I have to close, I'm prepared to close for loss. I actually have a stop loss set at 1361, which is roughly, if we look at it, it's roughly where the daily close was here. So if we go above, and it's 1362. But if we go above that, I'm okay. I've had a couple of or a few winning trades in a row in this range. So if I have to take a slight loss, I'm okay with that. That's okay. It's part of the risk management or gambling, whatever you want to call it. Good gambling just involves good risk management. If you want to not call, if this offends you, saying that this is gambling, well, nobody knows the future. You're taking a risk. You're putting your money on the line doing it. To me, that sounds a little bit like gambling. Let's just call a spade a spade. But, it is trading. Trading is more professional and just as degenerate, in my opinion. But we're not here to talk about that opinion. We're here to talk about the price opinions, or at least that's why I'm here. So looking at Ethereum now, it's at 1331. I did call for us to go lower here, and we did go up. I want to point a couple things out. I'm going to draw this line here at this kind of closing period. If we look at the price before we went up here, before this like upside, it kind of looks like Ethereum was being held down by this area, by 1337. It definitely looked like it was being held down by it. And I think these two candles here are rather deceiving. We had a bullish engulfing candle here. The next one, we broke above this line, closing above it. Really solid bodies, really good looking bodies. You can't deny it, looks bullish. We even came down. It looked like we were going to bearishly engulf. I remember this day. I wanted to go short, but I didn't because I wasn't certain. It just felt very wish-washy. I didn't, in times of uncertainty, I don't like to make a move. I tend to screw myself if I do that, so I just waited. We did go up from there, and I thought, oh man, I'm glad I didn't go short, right around here, actually, whenever we broke above this daily high. But we did, in fact, come back down and close with a bearish doji. This is whenever I went short personally, it gave me more confidence that we were going to go down. Not just that, but we have a high, a lower high, and a lower high. Not just that, but if we look at this from a little bit different of a perspective, or maybe not even that different, let's see. I'm just going to do a rough drawing real quick. Something like that. What it looks to be, in my opinion, is a traditional pendant pattern. And the fact that we're in a downtrend, this is a bearish pendant pattern. There's a few ways to measure the potential target of the pendant pattern. You take the length that brought you down, kind of like a bull flag or a bear flag. You do the same thing. Some people like to measure from the last touch point, like the top there, and measure down. That would put us at 935. Some people like to measure from the break. That's how I like to do it normally. If we were to break, maybe we break there, that would put us down at $888. That's the target. And wouldn't you know it, that is basically a double bottom for Ethereum. That's, in my opinion, that's totally possible. We could go lower than that. We could not go that low. That's just what the target is if you're trading based on pattern trades. Anyways, the reason why I do think we're going to go at least lower, at least break out of this range and go lower than this most recent low at about 12.20, 12, yeah, at about 12.20 there. The reason I think we're gonna go lower than that is because if you remember my last video, I was talking about, oh man, on mobile it's a little different. I was talking about how Ethereum rejected, rejected this 50 on the RSI twice. Not only that, but we're in the bearish control zone being below the 40. Now it looks like we're actually right at the 40. If we close the week right here, we're closing right at the 40, and that could be a bad thing because we're positioned at that point to reject the 40, the bearish control zone, just as we did reject the 50. It wouldn't look good. And if we don't do that, if we close lower than the current prices, which I think we will, that's also not good because we've maintained to stay in the bearish control zone, and we've had 3 weeks back to back with lower high wicks to the upside. That just shows that the bears are clearly in control. Bearish control zone, rejecting off the 50s, wicks to the upside, bad. Below the 50 on the long-term RSI, also bad. And what I want to talk about on the daily is this little uptrend that we had, which we didn't have whenever I made my video either on Sunday or Monday. I forget what day it was, but whenever I made my video, we didn't have this. We didn't have this uptrend. But now that we've closed up here, what we have is this rejection off the 50 on the daily. So we have a rejection off the 50 on the daily. We have a rejection twice off the weekly 50. We're in the bearish control zone. We rejected the 50, or we're below the 50 on the long term. Things are not looking good, guys. Things are not looking good. And even more to that, we're in a pennant pattern, a bearish pennant pattern, potentially. It's a neutral pattern, but it tends to go with the direction of the trend. And right now the trend is without a doubt to the to the downside. You know, let's be fair here. We do have a low, a higher low, and a higher low. Could we be setting up to do another higher low? Totally, it's completely possible. You know, we could keep tightening in this range and be boring, but I want to talk about why other reasons besides just the RSI of why I think we are going to go to the downside eventually when we break out of this pattern. I don't think this pattern will break to the up. I do think it will break to the down, and that's because mainly because of these. Well, not mainly because of these 2 days, but I want to talk about these 2 days. They looked very bullish, right? I think I started the video by saying that they look bullish. Looks like we broke out of this range, kind of. Things were looking good. But let's talk about it. These, in my opinion, they were low volume, below average volume, very low volume. Sure, relative to the last 2 days, they were higher in volume, but relative to that, I mean, relative to most things, they're very low volume days. Not only that, but while they look solid, like solid candle bodies, they actually weren't that big. This body here isn't even that big, but it was at least bigger than either of these candles. Why, it's not like we're getting a dramatic move to the upside. If we zoom out, if we're just looking at the candles, what candles are the biggest? I mean, we zoom out more, what candles are the biggest? We're in a downtrend. The biggest candles are the red ones. You know, if we're in an uptrend, even a small uptrend, look at this. You know, we got these like big red candles or solid looking red candles, but the bigger candles are the green ones now. And we went on a little bit of an uptrend because of that. Then we formed a really big red candle in comparison to all these green candles. The downtrend resumed, blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen here. We're not, even though these candles might mistakenly look bullish, I think this was a mini bull trap inside of this range that we're in. I think a lot of people over the last few days, maybe not yesterday, maybe, who knows, but over these 3 days, this 1, 2, 3 days, I think a lot of people bought or went long, and they're now all underwater, or at least in the red. That's my opinion. I would bet that that's probably exactly what happened. And that kind of behavior with the price, in my opinion, is not a good thing. It does not set us up for good things. Pair that with the fact that we've rejected off the 50 now on the daily. And the last time we did that, I mean, literally the last time we did that was over here, right? Right here on September 14th. And we went from, I mean, at the highest we went 1641, that's where we closed, all the way down to 1222. You know, I think I made a video over here saying be very afraid because we rejected the 50. I forget, I think it was somewhere around there. Anyways, not the point. The point is right now we're rejecting off this 50 again. We are primed. We're in a pattern that is primed to break us down to the downside. We're not having volume come in. These deceitful moves to the upside lasted for about 2 days. They looked solid, but really it's a blip in the radar. It's not even a blip in the radar. It's nothing significant compared to the down moves that we've seen. But it got a lot of people excited, and a lot of people probably bought in the last couple days. When people buy like this, all that is just more people who are ready to sell when their positions lose money. Being that we rejected the 50 here on the daily, I'm going to hit this over the head again and again. We rejected the 50. Oops. Rejected the 50 off of here and here on the weekly. We're below the 50. We're below the 40. It's not good, guys. Things are not good. And I do think that Ethereum is going to go lower. I know that I've been calling for October to be a bullish month, at least for Bitcoin. I still think that it will close green. I'm hoping that we get prices around like 27.5 to 29, maybe even $30,000 for Bitcoin by the end of the month, if not sometime in November. But first, I think we're going to see a dump. And why do I say that? Well, I mean, anytime that we've had a little pump, we've had a big dump, right? You know, I mean, like, let's just see like the beginning of this bull market, for example, right here at the very beginning, we had a really big dump, and then we went up, right? We had a really big dump, and then we went up, you know, really big dump, and then we went up. Like, that's how it happens. And that's, you know, as Ivan on Tech says, for people who know Ivan on Tech in this space, he's a brilliant man. You know, he's a brilliant young man, and person who I respect. I think a lot of people respect him in the space. He knows what he's doing, or at least he seems like he does. And he's got a saying, which I'm going to just use right now, which is that Bitcoin is always the pumpiest when it looks the dumpiest. You know, when Bitcoin looks the dumpiest, it's actually the pumpiest. And I think if Ethereum are going to have a bullish October, we're going to need a big dump to psych people out, have them think that we're going to go lower. Potentially, as I drew before, you know, potentially get this bearish pennant pattern to play out all the way down here and form a double bottom and in dramatic fashion drop, just so that we can be the pumpiest. Have a big dumpy dump to get a big pumpy pump. Who really knows? Nobody really knows. That's just my prediction. That's my opinion. That's what I'm calling for. That's what I'm trading on. I am looking to take profits when Ethereum's below $1,000. I hope that I can keep my short open until then. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys in tune. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video, follow me on TikTok, Chris Harris 85, at Chris Harris 85. I'm BTC Chris. You can even follow me on TikTok. I think I got a TikTok with I think it's just Chris Harris Jr. or Christopher Harris, something like that. Yeah. Anywho, if you give this video a thumbs up and a comment, that would be great. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. If you want to subscribe, that would be awesome as well. I'm just gonna keep making videos like this, and we'll see how it goes. I'm enjoying it so far. I hope all of you are. Take care. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.